And now back to your regular programming.
If you speak better to yourself.
You showed up for like probably the dumbest conversation we've ever had on this show.
Let's have that smile again.
Tell me how that happens. Physically should not happen.
Relax.
If you say it
Give me as well.
3 times a day, God will line it up.
He's just an absolute hack, and he gets his ass kicked by the teammates every week. It's just terrible.
Welcome back to Hack City. Joe DeLeone, Sean Anderson, 2 former college football players from the University of Rhode Island. Today, we are digging into some latest news around the NFL. Specifically, we're talking Joe Milton getting traded to the Dallas Cowboys, Geno Smith signing a pretty big extension for multiple years with the Raiders, and we're also going to get to the latest drama surrounding the Cincinnati Bengals. They just can't avoid it. This time, it is with Trey Hendrickson. Sean, before we get there, we're not. We're going to jump right in. We're going to jump right into Joe Milton.
I just saw. Wait,
did you get the other email from Cam?
I got an email from yesterday that I'm seeing now. And I had another email sent, but 3 days ago, and an email sent yesterday.
Okay. We have a different read that I have to do right now. God, talk about being well prepared.
You're doing a read today?
Yeah, because we have a new betting sponsor today. We have a different betting sponsor. I'll explain later. March Madness is here, and every game is a chance to cash in. From the first tip-off to the Final Four, every night promises high stakes matchups, wild finishes, and big-time betting opportunities. And MyBookie's Bet and Get is back to sweeten the deal. Place a cash bet on March Madness and get a surprise reward. Free bets, cash back, bonus chips. You never know what's coming next, whether it's a number 1 seed rolling or an underdog shocking the world. Smart bettors know the real money is made one game at a time. Listen up and sign up now with promo code. I believe it's MM50 is the promo code that we have, and you can boost your bankroll with a deposit bonus designed to help you make the most of your money. If you don't want a bonus, it's okay. Just make sure you let them know that we at Believe sent you. Bet on every game, anytime, from anywhere, only with MyBookie. All right. Yeah, I'm sorry. You want me to sit there and wait for me to email that to you?
No. I was actually just sitting back relaxing. That's easy. That was nice to do it. That was nice to
You're welcome.
Start the show and kind of take a minute and a half off and just let the other guy talk for a little bit.
Yeah, breathe for a little bit.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Joe Milton was traded to the Dallas Cowboys. He was traded along with a 2025 7th round pick. He was traded to the God damn it. Let's try this one more time. Joe Milton was traded to the Cowboys for a 5th round pick. He, along with a 2025 7th round pick, were sent to the Cowboys. He had one game where he had 241 yards and a touchdown. Am I a little off for thinking that this is a little ridiculous that he's suddenly built up this trade market to be traded for some compensation?
What are you talking about? Why wouldn't the Cowboys trade for Joe Milton? They tried the Trey Lance bit. They lost Cooper Rush, who has been a serviceable backup. Joe Milton's a hot commodity. Joe Milton might be a adrenaline shot to the Cowboys that they need if it happens that Dak goes down again. We bring in a guy with a rocket arm that can do no wrong. Why not?
I think he can do a lot of wrong. I think that's what's being missed here. I think that he can do. This is where the absurdity of it. This is why I am kind of blown away by this. He played one game at the end of the season against Bills backups where he looked fine and he showed some nice things. I think that he has a future of maybe carving out a role as a backup, but being traded for a 5th round pick seems like a little bit much for a guy who's played one game. We have no idea if he's capably good. And also, why are we doing the Trey Lance bit over again after they just tried it? Getting the athletic, physically gifted player with no care in the world if he's actually capable of starting.
Trey Lance didn't have the mammoth rocket arm that Joe Milton had. You confuse me with your assessment on Joe Milton. Whereas you say, like you'll go back to Tennessee and say, God, we saw a lot of things for Joe Milton where he just didn't get better. It's at accuracy, mid, deep, short. And then that translates to the NFL. How? Doesn't. But he's a Joe guy. He's a massive arm, tall, athletic, freak
but
quarterback
I'm not.
with potential out the wazoo.
I don't like when you assume this. I am not just blindly buy into the big physical traits guy. Like I'm that's not who I am as an evaluator. I like guys that are natural playmakers. Joe Milton is the furthest thing from a natural playmaker. Anthony Richardson was a natural playmaker in Florida, but he hasn't panned out in the NFL with the Colts. At the same time, like Jalen Milroe is a really good example. I like Jalen Milroe. He's my third quarterback in this class because he's a natural playmaker, but he still makes some mistakes, and those mistakes are going to hold him back in the NFL. Joe Milton's never done that. Joe Milton has never done anything that is been, ooh, ah, wow, oh my God, that's amazing in a game. He has thrown the ball really far in a couple of practices in, when somebody's got their phone out while he's on a field. And then everybody is freaked out over that. He looked freaking good at the NFL Combine because that is the setting for him to look really good. I'm not really that impressed by that performance that he had against the Bills. I think that this is a complete over-evaluation.
Joe, his rollout, stiff arm, run to the left sideline, throw back across my body for a 30-yard dart along the end of the sideline is more impressive than Anthony Richardson's 2-point conversion spin jump pass play. And if you're going to argue that they is or isn't, guess what? They're both the exact same play. So the most impressive feat that we've seen from both player are still categorized in the same way. And they both did it with remarkable athletic skill and fashion. So they cap out at about the same range, in my opinion.
One guy is much younger than the other. That is the biggest difference in the discourse when talking about these two players.
Which one is younger?
Anthony Richardson's much younger than Joe Milton.
I don't know how old Joe Milton is.
He was like a fifth-year guy when he left Tennessee.
I don't know how old Joe Milton is.
I think he was in our recruiting class.
Wait a minute. There's no way. Okay, you know what? If he was in our recruiting class, then maybe
he's 25. So no, he's not in our recruiting class. I think Anthony Richardson just turned 22.
Joe Milton's 25. That changes my tune.
Yeah,
that changes my tune a little bit. I will admittedly alter my tune.
Anthony Richardson turns 23 on May 22nd. So he is.
I got to cut that guy a break. I keep on forgetting he's freaking 22 years old. I'll cut him.
That was my whole point.
I'll cut him a little bit more of a break.
That's been my whole point with him is that he's extremely young.
Now you're yelling.
He's one of the young. Well, when you say shit that makes me mad,
you were being real. Yeah, we were having a nice real person conversation, and now you're screaming at me.
Joe Milton's been the same guy for the 5.5 years of college football that he played, and then the one game that he played in the NFL that everybody has been geeking over. Look, it almost means nothing because they traded for a backup. I just don't really get why this market was created. There were some people saying that he could go for a third-round pick, which was nuts. I will say I am happy that there was not the complete overreaction that some people were trying to put out there, that the NFL saw him as a developmental starter. The Cowboys aren't trading for him to be a developmental starter. They're trading for him to be a big, massive human being that maybe they bring in for a sub package, but is mostly just going to be a backup.
Make him a tush push guy. Make him a guy. Make him a Hail Mary guy.
Pay some help.
Use Joe Milton. And you know what? I'll admit this also. You're catching me when I'm soft. It's the off season. I'm not watching them play every week. I'm not fully embedded in the discourse of NFL season. So I'll cut everybody a little more slack in the off season, except for the Dallas front office, with the exception of this great move, the addition of Joe Milton.
Why are you so in on this?
Because it's a move that they're making. And I can see in my head, I'll tap into my Raven Simone future vision, and I could see Dak Prescott. Hobbling off week 6. Cowboys are 4-2. They're rolling, but they just dropped 2. And oh God, Dak, he looks a little shaken up. He's heading to the blue tent. Who's coming onto the field? Superman's coming on the field. Joe Milton walks out. Big brass clangers. Starts tossing that ball over the field. Does a little bit of what Dak did when he entered, except Dak did it with premier accuracy in his first preseason season, where he was going like 13 for 13, 14 for 17. Joe Milton's going to sit here and say, I'm throwing bombs, and I'm going to work the ball down the field. I'm going to win this week 6 game. I'm going to move us on the next week, and we'll see if Dak's healthy. If not, start game planning for Big Joe.
You know what's going to happen? Joe Milton's going to get called on. He comes out, and as hard as he can, he is going to throw a ball as hard as he can at the face mask of a linebacker who's going to pick it off. That is what is going to happen with Joe Milton. If anyone wants to disagree with me, has not watched the man play. He has some of the worst touch of a quarterback that he throws as hard as he can on some of the shortest route concepts. It's comical. And he's give him opportunities to play. more opportunities to play, not against backups in the preseason, I am promising everybody you are going to be sorely, sorely disappointed. I've watched too much of this damn guy and wanted him to be good, and he has not panned out to any degree.
My last counterpoint. Okay. How in the world could a linebacker intercept Joe Milton when he's unconscious? Because in your scenario,
took their head off.
In your scenario, he threw it at his helmet. I don't know if there's a man on earth with hands fast enough to catch that rocket coming right at the face mask. And then you're out cold. And now you're down a defender. This is reminiscent of the...
So that's the strategy. He's going to try and knock guys out and give them concussions by throwing the ball at their head as hard as possible.
This is an NBA Reddit, like, how can we win games theory. That possibly could work.
Throw the ball as hard as you can at the ACLs of every defender until they're out of players.
I've always thought the onside kick bounce up in the air was, I never thought it was that effective. Whereas if you really if a kicker can really line up a line drive at one of these, one of the dopes on the front line that's just supposed to take the hit, they're not catching it. Best shot is it bounces right back at you because you're kicking it at a wall at that velocity. So I think more kickers should do that.
I've always agreed with that. I thought the kicker strategy definitely should be ripping the ball at unsuspecting individuals.
You don't remember that happened to Jose?
Yes, I do.
It happened.
I do.
Jose Duncan, one of our frontline kickoff return guys, it hit him. I mean, just smoked him, like almost in the shoulder pad, helmet popped up. We recovered it, thankfully, but it could have gone the other way. It was a true 50-50 shot, opposed to this, I'm going to dribble it, hope it takes a bounce, and hope our guys can jump higher. Oh, wait, they have protection, and then it's also going to go out of bounds eventually. Get that ball on the turf. Get it in the middle in the scrum. We got a shot.
All right, Sean. Cincinnati Bengals are embedded in more drama regarding contract extensions. And this one is brutal what's happening with Trey Hendrickson. They have been in negotiations for a new contract for some time now. They have not reached an agreement. He has been given permission to seek a trade. There were comments that were made by a front office individual. I believe it's Katie Blackburn who made these comments. And she said, in regards to how he has responded to the offers being given to him, I think he should be happy at certain rates that maybe he doesn't think he'd be happy at. I think some of it is on him to be happy at some point. And if he's not, that's what holds it up sometimes. So, it takes him to say yes to something. And also, we have all the respect in the world for him. Nice little sentence to put in there. Trey Hendrickson responded when he was on the Pat McAfee show saying, through this process communication, when I'd say it's been poor, it's been like here and there. And respect to Jamar and T, I don't want to take anything from all the great things they've accomplished in their careers. They deserve everything that they've gotten. And no doubt in my mind, they're going to excel in the National Football League. I have a tremendous respect for both of them. But when it comes to my situation, it would be nice to know in some ways, hey, we're going to put you in the queue. No problem with me. He also went on to say and indicate that he doesn't even want to be the highest paid defensive end in the NFL. I'm beyond pissed off for Trey Hendrickson at this comment that was made by the front office representative, who I've never heard of until this week for the Bengals. That is an insane thing to say. I think that he should be happy at the number that we're giving him. The guy has 17 and a half sacks this past year. He has been one of the best defensive ends in the past 2 seasons. What the F are you talking about saying, I think he should be happy at that? I would love to know what this number is that they're putting out there, because I can guarantee if he's this pissed off, then it's probably a very disrespectful number. If you have to come out here and put out the qualifier, I think that he should be happy with the number that we're giving him.
The Bengals completely miss the entire point with negotiations. I've gone on many rants saying that I will be proud the first time a front office steps up and does give a mediocre player a mega contract just because they're in the building already. I've said that. But when you are approaching guys that are league leaders in a certain statistic, there are impact playmakers on your team that are vital, even on a bad defense that was porous, but somebody that can go out there and make a play and possibly take over a game. You handle them differently. And Cincinnati took my advice about maybe Tua not getting maxed out and applied that to their all-pro defensive end. Who does that? Who in their right mind could even fathom saying, you know what? You're going to be happy with the number. You are on the back burner behind these two that we have to pay. That's not how you treat these guys in the upper echelon. You treat middle-class players, lower rookie players, whatever, veterans that have been around a long time a certain way. This dude, we're lucky, we're happy to have you. because we've been so shit recently that you are one of the bright spots that we have while everyone else abandons ship and we get rid of all of your other playmakers that you had on defense with you. It's really embarrassing. Cincinnati skyrocketing in my embarrassing franchises list in the NFL right now.
I don't even know why certain guys would even want to play for Cincinnati if this is the way that they treat players. And you hear about the general frustration during contract negotiations for all of these big guys, and it's becoming abundantly clear that they don't respect them. She threw in here, we have all the respect in the world for him. By the way, she's Mike Brown's daughter. So the family relation and why she's the executive vice president for the Bengals. But her throwing in there that she has all the respect in the world for him is a total bullshit thing to say, because this is an extremely disrespectful statement to put out there and direct at Hendrickson. If you really feel this way, don't say that publicly. Don't. Hendrickson should request a trade now, because clearly they're not going to give you what you're looking for.
Well, he's already trying to get out of there. Yeah. Cincinnati said, no, we can work something out, and you're working something out. Is belittling, is freaking shanking him in the side while he's trying to get paid for what he's actually worth. He's not one of these guys that's up in the air. He's not a miscellaneous payment guy. He's a cornerstone of a defense. Those are guys that you are going to have to pay or you won't pay. But this string along, keep the fish on the line and don't release it and don't bring it in, is super disrespectful for a player. Incredibly disrespectful. Why are you playing with this man like that? Don't play with his emotions. Don't play with his wallet. Don't play with his future, because you don't have your stuff in order, Cincinnati. And it's apparent that they never do. They're always behind the 8 ball. They are never commanding the game, and they are just behind the lead dog. You know what happens, Joe? The view never changes when you're not the lead dog. So you're just looking at that. Well, you know what you look at from behind the dog. That's what Cincinnati's at right now. Well, I was interesting you went there. Maybe something both genders of dog would share, but go ahead.
Balls.
You're definitely you're following a male dog, and you're looking at the clangers. Gotcha.
First thing that popped in my head, thought it would be funny. Audience of one. I stand with Trey Hendrickson, though. I think that there's a lot of times where with contract negotiations, you kind of wonder, like, hey, like, where's the miscommunication? When you're the fan of a team, I'm not a Bengals fan, but when you're the fan of a team, sometimes you think, like, man, I wish this guy would just sign the new contract and come back. And sometimes you do recognize, like, hey, this guy might be – guys can be selfish in these negotiations. Absolutely can be. It's one thing to want to be paid a market value contract and then have unreasonable requests. It happens all the time. Agents get involved to completely screw up negotiations, all that stuff. But the fact that Hendrickson has stated that he doesn't care if he's the highest paid defensive end and merely just wants to be respected for the immense production that he's produced. The biggest part about all of this, though, and we talked about this when it was announced or it broke that he was given permission to seek a trade, they don't have anybody on their damn defensive line. They have BJ Hill. Their defensive line sucks right now. Sam Hubbard just retired and he was awful last year. Hendrickson, we are not discussing a good starter. We're talking about a guy that statistically has been in the upper echelon over the last 2 seasons, and you don't want to pay the guy when that's the biggest issue that you have right now, why your team can't get over the hump? It's stupid.
I think they're waiting for after the draft because they're cowards. If the Bengals had balls right now, they'd say, our defense blows, and paying this guy a bunch of money to be a drop in the bucket when we don't have 10 guys around him that can help complement him and really accentuate it. That's why we're not paying him. But we don't want to let him go. We don't know who we're going to get in the draft yet. Like, if they approached it that way and had some balls and said, here's the straight poop, you're getting the whole thing. The straight poop. It's old. You never heard that term used? Yeah, it's a straight shoot.
I am not.
I think noir. Yeah, noir detectives would use that.
Straight poop.
And you mean the straight poop.
Bring back straight poop. Where have you heard that?
I think in noir spoofs.
You know, noir is a French word for the color black, right?
Yeah, the dark detective.
You brutally mispronounced it. I'm stunned.
I struggle with that one. I do.
Master of language over.
I'm really not poop. Yeah, the straight poop. Hit him in the mush.
Can we
I gotta meet with my sauce.
There's got to be a way to make that a segment.
The straight poop.
Yeah, the straight.
All right. I mean, that would be an intro set. That'd be the lead off the kick off the show because we get to the straight poop of the day. All the news, the headlines that you missed. Please, you know what?
The gears are turning. Sorry, what were you saying? We were talking about football.
Yeah. If the Bengals really wanted to lay it out with confidence, they'd say Trey Hendrickson is really not going to help us that much because we can't help him. And he's going to be one man on an island on a defense, doing his best, getting great numbers and some forced fumbles and some big sacks. But we're still going to give up like 30 a game. So we might as well just let him walk and then try to rebuild young on the defense, find some gems, maybe in the 5th, 6th round that can actually contribute, and we don't have to pay a bunch of money.
That's but wait,
which is BS.
That is insane roster building logic. This year you can maybe get away with it and think that you could even double dip because there's so much defensive end talent and defensive tackle talent in this draft class. But that is horribly stupid, idiotic roster building logic of like, yeah, we'll just hope we get somebody on day 2 when you've got other roster needs. Like, what?
That's what the Rams did. They found a bunch of, not gems, but they draft defense late.
But the Rams were able to do that because they, 1, had Aaron Donald.
That helps.
2, they traded away most of their early draft picks to bring in all-pro players like Jalen Ramsey and Dante Fowler, a bunch of guys. They were able to do that because they were willing to spend money, circumvent the cap, and also be aggressive with trades for big-name players. But the Bengals haven't done any of that shit.
No, they could.
Bengals have done the opposite.
They should have. They
no
could have.
trades,
Hell,
no spending money to bring their guys back. Also, not drafting well is another problem that's plagued them. They're just dicking around. That's what they're doing.
You know what? In Cincinnati, it shouldn't be. They had a chance to not be a team that's just dicking around. I love it. So, just puttering.
That's the craziest part about all this.
And they really had that window to go and say, we're next. We are not just going to be, the Cincinnati Bengals, they played today. We're going to be Cincinnati in your face, dueling with the Chiefs, dueling with the Bills, ready to move, ready to go. They're just sticking around still. It's been a complete mismanagement.
It's straight poop.
It's the straight poop. Cincinnati and Zach Taylor, hot seat, full hot seat. This is going to be a telling season for these morons.
Yes.
And honest, I like this. I like that I have a team that I can root almost against, but for the players, because I love Jamar Chase, love T. Higgins, love Joe Burrow, love Trey Hendrickson. I like Chase Brown. I hate everyone else. I hate the coach. I'm starting to not like him. I think he's a doofus.
Wait. I disagree with that. I would argue. I think what's going to end up happening is they're going to miss the playoffs. Zach Taylor gets fired. He's gone. He's out.
Mm-hmm.
They go and hire some schmuck that's the offensive coordinator for just probably the Chiefs offensive coordinator,
sure.
Matt Nagy. They're going to just go hire him away. And it's like, wow, look at this. He's second chance for Matt Nagy. But I think that Zach Taylor then gets hired, gets another chance, I'd
take him in Atlanta. I would.
And I bet that Zach Taylor is just going to go on to actually lead a team to a Super Bowl. That is what's going to be the disturbing reality of this, because the mismanagement of the team is the front office and it's not the coaching staff.
Drake London, T. Higgins, Bijan Robinson, Michael Penix Jr., Zach Taylor. Who says they couldn't at least win the South? I'm looking forward to it.
I'd hope so. I'd hope they'd be able to do it.
I'd like to do a pre-season certainty coach firings, because I believe my coach is going to be on the list. I think he's going to be done after this year. Zach Taylor definitely going to be done after this year. I'm getting off the point
we
here.
should do that. That's a good segment.
I would like a pre-firing.
Yeah, we should do that later. Hot seat tracker. Geno Smith signed an enormous, pretty big contract for a 34-year-old. He gets a multi-year extension for 2 years, $75 million. Sean, is this a smart move to give all this money to Geno Smith?
No, it's not.
Oh,
it's not good. No, don't. You're being funny. Don't say like that.
All right, what's your take?
It's just not. It's not a good move. What has the Geno experience been? Not a crash out at the start, but didn't come into fruition until Seattle. Bogged down in New York and New Jersey. Has a couple good years in Seattle. Has one really good year. I'll admit it was a great year that he had, where he really turned it on, threw for a bunch of touchdowns, ton of yards. Said, wow, Geno Smith, electric. Geno Smith is too old to be electric now. He is. He's missed that late electric. I have some gas in my tank because I didn't really play a lot in my early career stages. Now he's just an older quarterback. Now, he has older quarterback knowledge. That's fantastic. I think the Raiders could desperately use it. But you already had him. What are you extended him for? He hasn't played a damn down in Vegas. You don't know if he's going to go out there and be good at all. He's got probably a worse team than he did in Seattle. Back with Carroll, how much does that afford him? He didn't do dick with Carroll. What is that? Did Seattle go on a deep playoff run with Geno Smith and Pete Carroll? Did I forget something?
He had the one good year.
He
kind of reminded us of like what he was as a prospect coming into the league. Look, I think that we agreed with one another when we talked about Geno and the trade. I think that the trade and the contract extension are two completely different discussions. The trade for him, it doesn't excite me because it doesn't get them over the hump of like actually like competing for a Super Bowl.
It just makes Vegas a little bit better.
Does it raise the floor? Absolutely. Does signing him to this multi-year deal, does it raise the floor of the team until 2027? That's how long this contract goes for. Absolutely, it does that. I just still call into question like what the Raiders' long-term plan is. And I think that this ultimately like really perfectly paints that Pete Carroll is not here for the long term. He is here for a couple of seasons, and they're just going to figure it out later down the line, which I don't think that is exactly a safe approach to building a team. It is an approach at the current moment of producing a better product. But in 3 years, when Pete Carroll retires and Geno Smith's contract's up and he's 37 years old, we're going to be talking about draft prospects for them in the 2028 NFL draft. That's all we're going to be doing.
We should be talking about him now. We should be talking about who's going to fill Geno's seat next year.
Well, that was what I thought it was. You trade for him, and this is a Kirk Cousins type situation where you maybe don't draft somebody this year, but next year you draft a quarterback. You've got the future lined up. Geno's got maybe like one more year. Maybe that's kind of what the approach is. Maybe 2026 is where they'll draft somebody and they want an Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love type spot where you can sit a guy for 2-3 years and then let him take over.
Yeah, I'm not overreacting to Geno in Vegas anymore. It feels like it's played out. It's Geno Smith. It's Vegas. Both have had ups and downs recently, mostly downs. But just going and shelling off a bunch of money for Geno, where's he going? Are you going to miss him? Could you replace him? All of these questions could be easily answered and very quickly, which doesn't put me in a gray area of, do we need to extend Geno Smith? It would no conversation in a front office in the football building right now. Am I walking into work thinking, we got to give Geno more time here? I'd never walk in and think that. If someone pitched it to me, I'd say, you got 2 minutes. Blow my mind on why we should extend Geno, keep him here longer. You blow my mind, I'm open to it. But until that happens, I am non-receptive to Geno Smith spending way more time in Vegas.
I think for how hard it is to find a quarterback in the NFL, it's justified him making this much money. I just find it very hard to believe by 2027, sorry, I said 37 years old, he's going to be 36 years old. By 2027, that there's going to be more than, I'll put the ceiling at 2 playoff wins. I think it's realistic for them to win 2 playoff games in that span.
Oh, no shot.
I'm not saying that they will, but I'm saying that like that's their ceiling. 2 playoff wins. More likely that they get to 2 playoff games and they get knocked out both times.
Their ceiling is make the wild card, in my opinion.
I'm talking about over the next couple of years. Like I'm talking about 2 wins total over the course of this contract until 2027.
Yeah, I give them until 2027.
They get 1 wild card
to make the wild card once. Because you're dealing with you're dealing with Denver, who has already surpassed them, and you're dealing with the Chiefs. And they're not going to beat those guys unless there's a devastating injury to Herbert, Nix, or Mahomes. And that's maybe when Geno and company slide in. But then you're still sending 3 to the playoffs from the AFC West. You better hope no other divisions are good in the AFC.
That's a good point.
It's such a long shot.
2 definitely feels very generous. You're right. So the real likelihood here with Geno is that they get 2 playoff berths. They make it as the wild card twice. That's probably their likely ceiling, and they're probably going to get knocked out in any of those situations, just like he did in that one really good year that he had when he was the starter in Seattle.
I'm excited. You know what? At least they're doing something. Vegas has at least made me this last year unwatchable. That team, it was just really
people trying to make Aiden O'Connell into a thing.
I'm dying to watch every single team. I'm dying to get invested. Give me something to bring me in. Geno doesn't really do that. Geno and Carroll, kind of. The Raiders drama reality show always kind of brings me in a little bit. Just give me a little more. I need a little more from Vegas, and then maybe I can be more optimistic. But right now, it's just tough sledding.
All right, Sean, let's get to Hell Yeah and Get Effed of the Week. Hell Yeah is something cool that we found that we thought was awesome that we wanted to share with the audience. This is Hell Yeah of the Week.
This is the Hack City Hell Yeah of the Week. Cue the lasers.
All right, my Hell Yeah of the Week. Can you, it's under audio clips. It's titled Email. Can you play this? This was during the recent Phillies game. This was a discourse between the color commentator and the play-by-play. Can you play it?
Well, in between innings, I'm toying with this MLB thing, and man, is it just winning.
Did you get the password?
No, it says I can't get emails on that email.
Right, because you have to probably reset the password.
I know, but when I try to reset the password, I put in a new one, and it doesn't do anything.
You sure you still have that account?
I have no idea. Apparently not.
Outside corner, 1-2. Well, we can ask Mike Harris from the Phillies.
Yeah, I might have to bring it up to IT guy.
If he can just have him reset the account one more time. And we can change the email.
Just looking at his phone in there. That's exactly what he's doing.
It'll be good as gold.
Yeah.
Oh, God. So funny.
Dude.
So there's so many things about this. I love the relationship of a baseball booth, an MLB booth, of a local MLB booth, not the national crew, the local booth. I envy, like, if I ever became a play-by-play, I don't think I'd ever be a color commentator. I don't think that I've got that
Well, you didn't play baseball.
Right. Well, no. I'm saying a football color commentator. I think I could be
oh.
a decent play-by-play for baseball. It's always been a dream of mine.
Nice voice
As
crack.
that voice crack, yeah. It's always been a dream of mine. I don't think that'll ever come to fruition. But I just love how in the middle of the season, when you've got nothing to talk about, we're already in the first week of the season, and these two buffoons are just sitting there. It's like listening to a kid trying to help his dad.
It's the best.
Operate his phone. It's probably one of the easiest fixes possible. You know how this should have been addressed? Oh, did you get the email? No. All right, let's talk about this after.
Yeah.
Not let's troubleshoot this on the air during the broadcast.
They got nothing else to do. It's baseball. I love it. You're spot on. This is fantastic audio. It's perfect. I think play-by-play or part of the broadcast crew of a major league baseball team has to be a dream job, because you're just spending the summer with the fellas, traveling all across the country. You're not broadcasting the Super Bowl. No, but you got the stories. You get to hang out. You're chilling. It's just a good time. It sounds like it's always a great time in the booth. I love it. I love that. If I get an age gap in the booth, that's perfect too.
Oh, yeah.
If I get, just a straight shoot commentator and then two knucklehead idiot players, like I think the Mets have that. I think the Phillies have Kruk. There's just groups that work. And if you're a fan of baseball, you should be a fan of the broadcast crew too. Radio, or did you ever get into baseball on the radio, or were you just always TV crew?
What do you mean?
Like listening to it? Like do you have any preference? Because this is a very divisive.
I used to always listen to, oh my God, how am I forgetting the WFAN, Susan Waldman, and who was the freaking, oh my God, the play-by-play for the Yankees. I used to listen, John Sterling. I used to listen to the two of them all the time. I loved listening to them in the car.
I cut so many Sterling calls at Sirius.
I love
it was
Sterling.
Actually one of the bright spots of my night is when there was Yankees homer and I got to hear him, and I didn't love him. I really didn't. I was just like, sometimes he made you ugh, and sometimes like, oh, all right, look at this. That one's kind of fun. That was not bad. Keep it up.
All right, what do you got for your hell yeah?
My hell yeah of the week. Welcome back, Young Thug. I know I did a hell yeah a while ago.
You've said welcome back to him like 10 times.
Well, I'm going to keep on tracking because the hip hop community, rap community, they have a NBA Centel, NBA Central on their hands with the Daily Loud,
Daily Now,
and the Daily Noud. Daily Noud.
You a Pooh Crave fan?
I am not a Pooh Crave fan.
Okay.
That one one's actually a little gross to me. That one, it doesn't. Daily Now, okay. That this is just, I don't even get it, because you could go I-out, where the I looks closer to an L.
Now, yeah, right, okay.
But Daily Now tweeted this rap fact: the pufferfish can inflate up to roughly 3 times its normal size for self-defense. And they had an image of the pufferfish on the right side of the tweet, and on the left side, picture of Young Thug. Young Thug's, back to Twitter, having a good time. WTF this got to do with me? Normal, good response. 84,000 reposts, 938,000
You glaze this
likes.
man for doing nothing. You glaze this guy for just breathing.
Welcome back, King. Welcome back. Show me a rapper. Show me an artist that has this kind of motion.
His absence made me forget how much you will glaze this man for doing just normal things.
938,000 likes.
938,000.
Yeah, 938K.
Not that impressive. Not that impressive.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, it's not that impressive.
Okay, how much was your biggest?
Most 157.
All right, I'm still at 68.
1,000. Yeah, get those numbers up.
Yeah, I will. You. God, why can't I glaze? This is hell yeah. This is my hell yeah. This is Young Thug.
This is a big glaze. I can't because the spirit of the hell yeah needs to be something that we can both bring to the table and be like, hell yeah. I don't care. Oh, look at my Young Thug. Look how good he is. He went viral.
Welcome back, King. He did
viral.
Not viral. Mega viral.
Back, King.
Mega viral.
Loser.
God.
How
embarrassed are you?
Better people
You're
to look
sitting
up
here.
to. I love Young Thug.
You're sitting here
but this
talking
is
in bars.
weird.
Hey, who won, Kendrick or Drake?
I've never done that before in my life.
I free the goat.
Don't put that on
Come
me.
on.
I've never said that once at a bar. Don't act like I'm going around trying to start those conversations.
Oh, Kendrick really got him this time. Look at me. I'm Joe DeLeone. I'm in the mix.
Well, I'm a contrarian, so I actually stand on the side of Drake. But that's
so annoying. You're so annoying. That's
all right. Get after the week.
Hey, ladies, who do you think won? Oh, probably Drake, huh? Me
do it
too.
in my morning radio voice. All right, get after the week where somebody got completely dunked on. This is get after.
Oh, all right, let me get to it.
Get your ass
Get
on.
help?
Get
I
out.
broke my knee, man.
No. Get effed.
Ice up, son.
It's the Hack City Get Effed of the Week.
All right, Sean, what do you got for get after?
Simple. Tearing your ACL during a halftime contest at an NBA game. This week, the Atlanta Hawks were hosting a layup tic-tac-toe competition. I had my own issues with halftime performances. Let's just
Hold on. What do you mean?
What do you mean?
What do you mean you've had your own issue?
I'm saying like I don't really enjoy them. They're not for me.
Oh, I thought you were saying that you had like an embarrassing performance during a halftime.
No.
Okay, all right.
Two participants were supposed to run to half court, get a ball, do a layup on their respective basket, come back, drop a little marker down for your tic-tac-toe side, and then they play tic-tac-toe with layups. On the first go, one gentleman goes down, sinks a layup, and on the other side of the court, one gentleman goes for the layup and promptly blows out his entire knee, his MCL, ACL, PCL, blowed it out. And he's sitting down there laying on the ground, knows it's tore up.
Yes.
My leg is done for.
The other gentleman, long shot look at him on the ground. They didn't pan away at all.
Yeah, the other participant continues with the game, sees that he's down, sinks another layup, runs back, sees that he's still down, sinks another layup.
Well, good for him for finishing.
I think people are upset. They're saying get F to, I believe his moniker was Ragman. He's competing for a prize just because he went down doesn't mean I can't finish out the game.
What?
And then
let him finish. Supposed to hand out. What are we supposed to help carry him to score? What?
The stadium host or whatever that title is called, the MC. At the end of it was like, yeah, Ragman, we know you won. Well, if I'm Ragman, I don't really know that I won. I'm gonna have my tic-tac-toe crossed through so I can get my $500 Chick-fil-A gift card or whatever they had out as a gift. But I'm standing with Ragman. You finished the competition.
I stay with Ragman too. Get after the guy whose knee blew out.
Until I heard a whistle or until I heard the music stop, I'm finishing. I play through the whistle. My halftime was for me to come in and sink layups and play tic-tac-toe. Just because the other guy blew his leg out, that doesn't mean I have to stop.
So if an athlete does this during a game, you don't stop. Like if you're doing an actual game everybody on the court doesn't stop just because somebody goes down.
The Carmelo Anthony was a great moment of that. Carmelo goes down, stays down for a whole possession. You think they're going to call timeout? Basketball continues. They're playing a full offense with Carmelo still lying down on the court in pain. This stuff happens.
Get F definitely knew the guy who blew out his knee. This is why, like, if I ever got encouraged to go onto the court and do so, I wouldn't do it. I could not. I consider myself more athletic than the average human being, just like than the most people. I think I would look like moderately respectable if I was asked to do something like this. I don't think I'd wow anybody where it'd be like, we need to sign that guy.
You
we
think
need
you
to
could
sign him to the NBA. We need him on our team. No, that's not going to happen. But no, I wouldn't want to embarrass myself for the fear of something like this happening.
You don't think, like, I think I would do okay at like the, at least just for optics, at the full court putt or the half court shot. But if you got me doing, the layup, the free throw, the three, and then the half court shot, I'm going to have the neck sweat. I'm going to be nervous.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little too much pressure.
I just know if I did one of those half court shots, I would. Whenever I do things like this, I always throw it too hard. Like, I don't have any touch. I would be so afraid of undershooting it and looking wimpy that I would I think I would launch it into the crowd.
Because you can't airball. You can't.
No, I would rather
short.
launch it into the crowd. So like that would be my whole logic. Is like, hey, I'm going to throw this thing as hard as I can into the stands.
I wouldn't do one practice shot. I would just roll up and do it. I think you have as good of a shot just ripping it, opposed to Baba Booeying it and practicing and then getting in your own head and then one of the worst first pitches in history. Just walk up, rip it. If it's your day, it's your day. God said the ball is going in the bucket. I got no control over a half court shot. My get after the week. This is on the Crumble Cookies subreddit. Who would have thought that there's there's subreddits for everything? r/Crumble Cookies is if you're curious and you're going to go check it out. There's a special tag for comments about this under Calorie Talk. What 12 cookies every week did to us. This user posted, user 5739274. Take my experience as a warning. When Crumble had come out with the weekly subscription, which is insane. I had no idea that there's subscriptions for Crumble Cookie. I couldn't be more out of the loop on Crumble, and I'm glad that I'm out. I've never had one, and I don't think I have a desire to have one. I haven't had one either. All I hear is that they're disgusting, like icing-filled messes.
I want to have the 4,000 calorie brownie that they sell. I think it's.
I'm about as fat as you can get for still functioning in society, and going to work and going back and doing all that. With a decent level of comfort. A subscription to a cookie box has never even crossed my mind. Like you just can't, like I couldn't even fathom doing it. But I could hork in 4,000 calories with the best of them. I'll go toe to toe. These people are mentally sick in the head.
Wait. I wanted to really quickly check there's like a brownie that they sell that's got like 7,000 calories in it. I forget what it is. Can you look that up on this? Okay. So just look up like Crumble brownie or whatever it was. So the rest of this prompt though, take my experience as a warning. When Crumble had come out with the weekly subscription, me and my two roommates signed up for the box of 12 every week. Leading up to this, we had been getting the 12 pack often, but only once a month, I would say. After 9 months, we gained about 40 to 45 pounds. Obviously, we noticed the change, but we just did not care. We were freshmen at a small college, and it just became part of our routine. Obvious being freshmen, we weren't watching what we were eating or drinking at all, so it wasn't all the cookies, but they were the catalyst. Once we hit the point where we decided to end the description, just learn to limit the cookies because it does become a habit. And then somebody who in this post pointed out that there's 700 to 800 calories per cookie, which is an insane. Did you find the brownie?
The most calorific cookie, because I have to use AI overview now, because that's how people search things.
Okay.
The candy cane brownie cookie, over 1,200 calories per cookie.
Oh, I guess
so. They don't have the big 4,000. Maybe Subway does. I just searched up 4,000 calorie brownie.
Okay. This is a total get effed because it's insane to have put on 45 to literally fast track ending up putting up on that much weight. Everybody talks about the weight that you put on as a freshman. There's plenty of people that we know that you see that just drink their way to that weight.
Yeah.
To not be cognizant of the fact that you can't eat that many. 12 a week is insane. That's insane. How can you, after a week of that, I'd feel like a fat piece of shit. I'd feel like a real fat piece of
Why
shit.
are you shaking my light over there?
I don't know.
The fattest thing I did as a freshman in college, I think it was fall semester. Definitely was fall semester. There was how the frats would do like the Krispy Kreme drives, and they'd set up outside the dining hall. It was a Friday. I wanted a Krispy Kreme donut. They weren't selling singles. Bought a box of 12. I think I ate all 12.
Oh, no.
Maybe I gave one to Joe Kenny.
You were a college offensive lineman, so this is a little bit okay.
I may have given one to Joe Kenny.
You weren't a 110-pound freshman girl that was probably the person who posted this.
I ate 11 donuts before dinner.
And you probably burned it off, though, but that's still fat and gross.
It was so good. They were so good. And I can't have Krispy Kreme anymore because if we went to a Krispy Kreme, I'd buy 12, and it would be 12 eradicated by the eve.
I could probably knock out 12.
They're just so good.
Have you stopped at the Krispy Kreme in Penn Station?
No, I won't. I won't do it.
Oh, I used to do that every time. I would stop as soon as I would get in from riding the New Jersey Transit into Penn Station. I would stop at that Krispy Kreme. I'd get a chocolate glazed, chocolate frosted. Oh God!
I've walked.
What
are
you doing after this? You want to go to the?
I can't.
Penn Station?
I can't invite that vice back because it's not just an eating vice, which I currently obtain. But it's a secondary eating vice where if I get rolling on that Krispy Kreme,
sure,
it doesn't stop until I have to shut it off.
If there is one food to have an addiction to, Krispy Kreme is the only one that's allowed. Over crumble cookies, I would much prefer that.
I've had to walk around and near Times Square a lot the last couple of weeks. They got this big store and it's got the rotating sign,
you go in?
And it's the hot and ready.
Why
and
didn't you go
know
in?
It's going to be hot and ready.
I
know it's going to be hot.
All right, you've got a quiz for me. What is this?
Oh, I do. Yes, thank you for reminding me here. Well, the legendary actor Val Kilmer passed away this week. R.I.P.
Love Val Kilmer.
Interesting you say
I do
that.
love Val Kilmer. Yeah.
Well, I figured it'd be good to see just a check-in with Joe here and give him a little pop quiz on Val Kilmer. I like to see where your media is at, or media knowledge is at.
Won't go well. We all know that.
Sometimes you surprise me though, and you will say, "Oh, I've seen that movie." Like when I had watched High Fidelity last week.
Yeah, I saw that.
That shocked me, blew my mind.
Great movie.
Great movie. So we're gonna do a little Val Kilmer pop quiz. 10 questions for you. Okay, you ready?
A lot.
All right. Question 1. Do you know who Val Kilmer is?
An actor.
Okay, you got that one right. 2.
Are you serious?
Can you name a movie where Val Kilmer was featured?
Top Gun. Wow. What is this?
What was the name of Val Kilmer's character in Top Gun?
Iceman.
This is already an upset. Question 4.
I've seen Top Gun a lot of times.
What was Val Kilmer's character in Tombstone?
I don't know that one.
Do you want the answer?
Yeah, I'm not going to know the answer.
Doc Holliday.
Okay.
Question 5. Which musician did Val Kilmer famously portray in a biopic?
It was the Doors biopic.
I'll already give it to you. You'll just get a full...
Jim. No.
Jim who?
I want to say Jim Henson, but it's obviously not Jim Henson, the puppeteer. Who is it?
Jim Morrison.
Damn it!
From the Doors.
I was the Jim's son, and then I got the wrong part. Okay,
you got it right. That's enough to get right. You probably you probably just scrolled Twitter and saw, oh, look at this. From Jim Morrison.
No, I may or may not have seen a clip the other day, but okay, continue.
Okay, question 6. Have you seen Heat?
Which one was Heat?
Al Pacino, Robert De Niro.
I have not seen
Val Kilmer. Okay, gotcha. Overrated.
Wait. No, I have not seen Heat.
Okay. Have you seen Kiss Kiss Bang Bang?
I have seen Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, where he's Gay Perry.
How do you know about Gay Perry?
I've seen Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. You just watched it like a month ago, and I told you I watched it years ago. I am more.
That is shocking,
Sean.
dude.
I have seen more movies than you realize. I just have awful recall because my recall is completely wasted on heights and weights of random football players and the colleges that they went to. All right, go ahead.
I didn't know these. All right. Have you seen Top Gun?
Obviously.
Okay.
Seen both.
Have you seen? Oh, you saw part 2 also?
I saw part 2. Part
Very
2 was
good.
pretty good. It was a little bit of a go America jerk off fest, but
So was the first one.
Yeah. The first one had a little more nuance. I thought that the other one was kind of just like
You talk to Navy pilots?
No.
They are Navy pilots because of Top Gun. It worked
Yeah.
on them. I know a couple. They are in, and they have the mustache, and they do the bit, and they are like they're in the movie.
Sure.
Question 9. Have you seen True Romance?
Which one's True Romance?
Okay.
Can you explain the plot really quickly?
Yeah. Boy and a girl go to California, score drugs, trying to sell it off and start a life.
I haven't seen this one.
Okay, gotcha. Val Kilmer played Elvis in that movie. It was fun. Last question. What was Val Kilmer's character in Tombstone?
Doc Holliday. You already
wow!
you already asked me that.
Look at him go! I thought you would have forgotten it already.
Fuck
I
you!
thought you
fuck
might
you!
I'm
fuck you!
Don't put me in the
Piece of
jackpot.
shit.
I'm not in the jackpot here.
All right, what's
you impressed me on that quiz. That is it. That you got 2 wrong, 3 wrong.
I like Val Kilmer. I'm a big Val. I loved Iceman. Me and my friends used to fight over who got to be called Iceman when we were gonna do for Halloween for like all 4 years of high school. We kept saying we were gonna do Top Gun. We never did it because we would spend weeks fighting over who got to be Iceman, and the fight would get so serious and so contentious that we would just end up doing our own thing.
No, you're Goose, dude.
Yeah,
you're Goose.
No,
what do you have going for you?
Yeah, that was literally what it was.
You're a wingman.
Like, no, I don't want to be Goose. Fuck you. I don't want to be Goose. No one wanted to be Maverick. It's like, no, you can be. Well, what would always happen is like, you can be Maverick. I'm like, I don't want to be Maverick. Iceman's the cooler name. That was what the whole fight was.
Unbelievable.
You know what? Would you do Top Gun with me if I get to be Iceman?
You want to be Iceman? You could be Iceman.
Okay, who would you be?
I don't know. I'd
be a big
anyone.
oaf.
Joker? Is Joker one of them?
You could be the airplane.
You want to be Iceman,
the aircraft carrier.
And I'm your freaking aircraft carrier.
Yeah, the aircraft carrier.
Yeah, that would be an okay costume. 7 out of 10. That is actually shocking points for Joe here. That's a great pop quiz you just pulled off. I can't believe. I'm genuinely shocked. Even more shocked that you wanted to be Iceman and it went to blows over it.
Absolutely.
This boy knows Val Kilmer ball.
I know. I'm a ball knower.
Holy hell.
All right. Hack bag time. 201-834-4308. Call in. Leave us your voicemails. We've got one question from Twitter.
The mail never stops.
This is the Hack Bag. Hit us on Twitter for questions or call at 201-834-4308.
What do you got?
Nice appropriate one. Saw this tweet today from Chester. Saw this tweet today. Where do you want your ashes spread? I'd go under the water tower at Idaho or Dua Lipa's toilet seat. The photo is of a Olympic trials and somebody saying that they would like to put their ashes in the sand pit during a long jump competition.
We're not gonna elaborate on that. I know what his bit was.
Oh,
I know what the bit was. We're not gonna elaborate on it. Where do I want them spread? I would like it to be a really inconvenient location.
What do you mean?
Well, just
our ash is going to be inconvenient.
Well, because like when you get buried, it's just like it's kind of done. But like when you've got, I would like to ruin somebody's day one more time if I'm already out. I don't know what that would be though. Maybe on the highway.
What?
Maybe on the highway.
That's just danger. That's just pure danger.
Yeah, like someone dump it over an overpass.
Then you're just mixing with wiper fluid when people are just washing it off.
Yeah.
What does that do for
you? On everybody's cars on the turnpike.
God. You know, I used to think cemeteries were a waste of space and that we should use that land for developing and stuff like. No, I think being buried in a box is starting to become like the most metal thing a person can do. You're just sitting in the ground. That's awesome. But if I were to get cremated, you also be ready. Extendo coffin for me. Big plot.
You're getting cremated.
No, I'm not.
You're getting cremated.
You're changing my suit 4 times a week.
No one wants to foot the bill to put you in a big ass.
I'm
can
going
we crumple you up like a piece of paper.
No.
Here's the thing. Can we put your legs behind your ears and
people have done that before. People have gotten funeral homes have gotten in serious trouble for like chopping off the legs of tall people so they could fit in a regular sized coffin.
Could you imagine not chopping off? Could you imagine pulling up to someone's funeral and they just snapped their legs and they're just up behind their head?
Well, you better put me in some cool shoes then. God, that'd be awesome. Hey,
just some LeBron 9s.
Yeah.
not even like normal Jordans that everyone's talking about. Like we're talking about some throwback LeBrons.
This was the era,
just
man.
Pink or neon green. Just like those low top KDs. Maybe
Oh,
you could do.
love it. Oh, you put me in the Aunt Pearls, those KD fives, the
God.
Aunt Pearls. My legs are sitting up on my head. Oh, that'd be awesome. I don't know.
Wait. Oh, you can buy these on Walmart. Wait.
Don't put me in Walmart shoes, please.
I'm surprised these are $150. We'll put you in these.
Those would play. Honestly, those would play at
These
my
are kind of
funeral.
sick. Maybe I need to get a pair of these. $150? Why is Walmart selling?
Freaking LeGlaze over here. Give me a break. Maybe I should go in some bronze. I love LeBron so much. Oh, yeah. Those right there. Those would be showstoppers.
What if we're really off on a tangent here? What if we did these pink LeBron 9s and then like a Speedo, like just only a
Why
Speedo?
am I got family coming to this thing, man. I'm not going to be
Yeah,
in a
but we're
Speedo.
trying to do a bit. Are you trying to do a bit so the pink?
No, those are just great.
Pink?
Joe, you get a pair of those. You walk around. You will get compliments all day.
They've got like
you get
fur.
a pair of those.
They've got fur on them. I think these are women's shoes.
Well, get the men's pair of them.
No, they're men's. Actually, they're men's shoes. Oh, they only come in size 8. That's disappointing.
The boys' shoes.
No, they're
Are
men.
you- is this where you're buying your clothes now? You're in the boys'
lifestyle
clothes
shoes. Look,
section?
yeah, it's got like fur on it. Men lifestyle shoes. I think that we're onto something here.
I think you need to get a pair of those for your real life.
High top. No, I couldn't pull those off. I
Yeah,
think
you
you could
could.
pull. You could pull them off.
No, you could pull those.
I think you could
throw
pull
it.
those
Throw
off.
it back. Throw it back to 14, man. Khakis, polo, LeBrons. You are playing.
No.
You go do some media in those. Your sock rises.
Khaki shorts, Nike Elite socks with the LeBron 9s, and then a polo, a collared shirt.
I think
Flat brimmed cap.
Sports media people are getting way too confident and dress in like their sneaker choices and all that, and it's the leather shoes.
We need to go back. We got to throw it back. Go backtrack.
Next stand-up video segment we're doing together, whatever it is, we got to.
That would be perfect for
LeBrons.
you. Oh, man, you should have done when you did the Big East tournament. Man on the street content. You should have done that.
With Sperry's and Elite socks and
no. Like get some high top LeBrons with the Elite socks and like the baggiest pair of shorts. Just dress up like a really big 14-year-old from 2012.
I think that's still in play. That can always.
I think
work.
a lot of people would get that bit. I think if you did that, that would get a lot of run.
That's a good bit to workshop. Sick of seeing everyone wearing their trendy Reeboks and Nike Blazers.
Yeah, fuck that.
Stop
wearing the white Air Force Ones, low top Air Force Ones with your $300 suit.
Yeah, you're not a trailblazer.
Sorry, $500 suit. It's got to be like a little expensive that you felt good about yourself buying it, but it's actually not that expensive.
The first guy,
cheap losers.
The first guy that goes out in some LeBron 9s, the classics. That's an immediate follow. That's an immediate stan. I'd start a burner for that guy.
So maybe the fit, if I ever got like a TV gig, would be the LeBron 9s and then like the early 2000s draft night suit where it was just super long and baggy. I mean, yeah, you'd have to, if you're going to shtick it up, you got to shtick it up on TV.
We're fleshing out some LeBron bits right now, and I love it. This is
well, no, it's not a LeBron bit. It is an oversized 14-year-old bit.
I think we have to prep a post for when LeBron eventually retires with us in LeBron draft night suits, but also the classic LeBron shoes.
Very simply, when he does retire, we stand on the corner to ask questions, of course, not for other things.
Yeah.
We stand on the corner and we ask people questions about LeBron. And I think that I'm already the wheels are turning here. I'm already sticking it up.
Can we bring some honey?
We should do a honey packet for LeBron.
Oh.
Did I send you a picture? By the way, we'll get out of here after this. I took a picture of this. Rolled up to one of the tee boxes on one of the courses in Orlando. And I look over and there was a honey packet on the ground next to the tee box. I want to know, how did that guy shoot after he took that honey packet? How did he finish his round? I would love to know. Is that some real performance enhancing shit? Or was that man horny as F the whole rest of the round?
Well, I think maybe he was because people are trying to do this bit where like Viagra is super good for like blood flow and all that stuff. Maybe he's just one of these psychopaths that's all up into the fitness health stuff and thinks that taking the honey is at least going to, at the very least, placebo him into playing better. I wouldn't mind placebo dosing myself this season.
Was it Bart Scott who said that he took Viagra pills before he played?
It was either
it
was a
Bart
linebacker.
Scott.
Was it Bart Scott or Channing Crowder?
Well, so wait, instead of offer, so what if we do this? We take a honey packet and then we do the dress up bit and then we
loose suits. What are you doing, man? They're just gonna be sitting. It's a loose baggy suit. It's just gonna be poking out. There's no press. I can't
tent it up.
Just tent it up, man. You can't do that in a loose suit. Baggy ass pants just tented. What?
I'm surprised nobody's trying to do that. To do man on the street with just a fully tented up.
I can't imagine.
Well, just tuck.
I don't know.
Just tuck.
Tuck. Why am I tucking in a suit?
Just tuck, and then we but just for what it would do to your personality, not for the boner in public that would scare everybody, and then get you put on a watch list. No, you gotta tuck it. No, it wouldn't.
Big enough to scare people.
It wouldn't. It's not.
Oh, thank you.
It wouldn't scare people for that reason.
A
large man with an erection staring at them. A large man with an erection putting a microphone.
Why are you walking this back? You gave me a nice compliment.
Down. No, I didn't. I didn't give you a compliment.
You gave me a nice compliment.
I gave you no compliment. But we would have to find a way to hide it. Maybe wear some really tight underwear or something like that. And then, the whole point of the honey packet is not for the boner. It's for what it's going to do to us when we're asking questions.
So now you got me on the street in a big suit, bricked up in too tight underwear. How does that do? What does that do? That actually, thinking of my body comp, if that cut off the blood circulation in my thighs, you could see me pass out standing up from just general lack of blood flow to the legs.
I don't know what this bit is, but I think it's a bit. I think it's there. I think we would get a cease. The goal is to get a cease and desist from LeBron.
Ladies, this is how two rational fans of LeBron talk about LeBron and where it goes. If you know someone that's a real LeBron stan, it gets a lot deeper.
We would play all those. Are you privy to the LeBron songs that have been written?
Deep into it.
We could literally just not ask questions. We could just go boombox, stand there and play. Just play the LeBron song.
Do you think he would retweet us?
No. I really think he would send us a cease and desist for doing this. Honey packet.
LeBron's a fan of comedy, though. I think he would like it.
No, he's not. He's got one of the worst senses of humor.
What are you talking about?
He's got an awful sense of humor. He's one of the most unfunny
athletes.
Are you kidding me?
No. I think LeBron's in it. I think he likes it.
I've seen those stupid DraftKings ads. They're awful. He is as stiff as a board.
I'm not saying he's funny.
He has no.
He's boys with Kevin Hart. I think he
not
likes
that interesting.
He's interesting.
He's exactly like Tom Brady. It's the same shit that I said before.
Oh, Tom Brady, way weirder, way more boring than LeBron.
I think that we cracked the code here, though. Forget the LeBron part of this. I think for every man on the street, the oversized draft night suit is the bit.
Dude, I got so much love just walking around in a white suit. Just right around the
but
MSG.
Oversized. It needs to be like dragging.
That was skin tight, the last one. This next one, oversized, I think plays better.
I think we're on to something. At Joe DeLeone. Oh, what do you got?
Spread my ashes and Kerr Lake.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I forgot that was the original question.
Spread my ashes.
How did we get here?
Honestly, 2 minutes ago, I was trying to think of how we even broke into this part of it. I don't know.
Oh, it was the LeBron 9 shoes that we were going to put on your dead body.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because of yes.
At Joe DeLeone, at Sanderson Radio, at Hack City Pod. Call in with a voicemail 201 what's the number?
201-834-4308.
834-4308. Call in at your own peril. We'll talk to you later. Enjoy your weekend.